we're recording our training now. See how we're starting fresh? Hello, everybody. So the question I'm posing to everybody is, do you want training once a month or twice a month to grow your business from Haley and myself? And then the second question is, what is the best way to communicate with all of you to make sure you're aware of trainings, you're aware of upcoming events and the recognition? And there's a lot of people that thrive off of recognition. I'm going to tell you, I'm one of them. It's right up there with what I'm paid. And then there's other people who could care less about recognition. It's just, we're all made differently, right? So a lot of you are writing Messenger. So the challenge with the Messenger is I'll post, or Haley will post, like, look at this morning, the training, all the different things going on. And then all of a sudden, someone has a question. Where do I look in the ripple effect? Or I didn't get corporate home office's email. Gina, what should I do? Not to be sounding sassy, but I am not customer service. Do I look like customer service to anyone? If I do, you just tell me if you think I know all these answers. So when I started, we didn't even have all these things. I just had to go into the library and thank you, Nicole. I do not look like customer service. If you have questions, you got to call customer support because I won't know most of those answers. When you all wonder, how do I do this? If I had $1 for each one of you that says, Gina, how do you possibly run Pella and do this at a diamond level? Well, first of all, I'll tell you how. Here I am right now. You can see the background. I'm at the Milwaukee Athletic Club downtown. I had a Pella dinner tonight for the winning reps for the last 2 months. That doesn't mean I'm not going to train my team. I just made it for 7:30. We're all passionate about something. It depends where you want to be in your business. I happen to really love Trinant and I really want to grow. We're all at different places. Okay. So I can't be taking my revenue generating time. And I want you to all think of yourselves as you're developing into leaders, right? We have many rubies on this call and soon to be rubies. We don't want to take revenue generating time from, most of us have full-time jobs here. The last thing we want to do is take time to help someone with a customer support question when Trinant provides customer support. Does that make sense? Because I don't want to sound bitchy, you guys. I just don't. And half the time I have to tell you to call anyway because I don't know. So back to the original question is, when we have the messenger, you all know a lot of those good messages get lost, right? Or the postings and you got to scroll. So that's something I want to know. Should we make, and the other thing is, me and Haley are going to get tapped out on how many people can be in our group, and we're going to have to open up a second group. Well, then that's not the same. Now, when we're not all together, it's not the same. So, I'll just throw out a couple thoughts. This isn't going to just be Gina talking at you, but because it's our first one and I had so many things I wanted to ask you all, we could do a WhatsApp because it doesn't matter what device we use, if it's an iPhone or an Android, and before we're full, it's like 4,000. So we could maybe move over to WhatsApp, and then it could be me and Haley together, and Haley and I aren't duplicating efforts because the messenger doesn't allow for both our teams. Okay, so I want you guys to think about that. Okay, so that question.
Hey, Gina, can I just ask real quick?
Yes.
Why would you have a joint group with Haley? Why would you not have your own group and Haley have her own group, you be in her group and her be in your group? Why would you have one massive group?
The group would be because we're always posting the trainings and stuff. And that's a good point. Should we still stay with 2 groups? It was more so Haley and I aren't duplicating efforts as well.
But I think actually, like, once we're Ruby level and above and we're creating like our own groups, we're taking stuff from Della Diamonds and putting it into our own messenger groups. So as our teams grow, those people can see it without having to go to Della Diamonds. I mean, that's just sort of like my thought process. So
And I love that. That is the feedback I'm looking for. Thank you. That's exactly the feedback I'm looking for. Because in an ideal world of Trenant, once you're at the Ruby level, you are a leader. You're considered a leader. And so you should be having your own groups, and we should really just be having the Rubies on like a WhatsApp or a PM, and then you guys are sharing all that information. So again, if you guys are good with that, I'd love that in the chat. Okay. Thank you, Lisa, because that's exactly what I'm looking for from you guys. I want to help those of you, and when I say me, I'm speaking for Haley as well, okay? We want all of you to grow as fast as you want to grow. Okay? And we all know you've watched me. It is possible to have a 65-hour-a-week job and do this. So am I working about 80 hours a week? Yeah. Many of you might not want to do that. This is what I tell all of you. So like I got asked to speak when we go to TLA. I'm going to be speaking to 3 sessions in a row. When you are a speaker, you're never going to be able to speak to everybody. Would you agree? You're only going to trip certain people's triggers. I don't have little kids anymore. I have one granddaughter who's 18 months. We're all at different places in our life. So when you go to TLA, and I hope all of you are going, you know, someone might be like, oh my God, Gina was the greatest thing ever. That helped me so much. And then someone else might be like, I am not going to do one thing Gina just talked about. And that's okay, right? Because we're all at a different place. And so I already know at TLA what I'm going to talk about is I'm not the only one on earth that wants to run and work this many hours a week to get to Black Diamond and Red Diamond. So the people who want to attach to my coattails because that is what their personality is like, then you guys attach to me. There's nothing wrong because I'm psycho and I work 85 hours a week, just like there's nothing wrong with someone who might devote 2 hours a week to their Trenant. Are we all in agreement? We came in this because we're all at different levels and we all want something different from Trenant. Fair? Okay. So I'm going to pause and maybe we should use the hands. If anybody wants to, on that point, if beyond the chat, if you're like Lisa had some really great feedback. Is there anyone who wants to chime in before we move on? Wow. Carrying on. Okay. Do you all, I don't want this to be just what Haley thinks or Gina thinks. So the other thing I'd like in the chat is, do you like when we recognize people? Do you want to welcome the new people that come to our group? Go back to how did it make you feel when people welcomed you or congratulated you? Okay, love it. Yeah, Ellen, my God, now my boss is gone because we're done with our Pella dinner, so I can never let him hear this. My recognition is almost up there with my pay. I want to be told for the hard work I'm doing. I don't know, maybe I have mommy and daddy issues. I don't know, but I love recognition. So, okay, good. So you got that. And then the last thing of homeworky kind of stuff is tonight, I am going to the basics. And the reason I'm starting as if everybody is on their first day is we have many Ruby leaders. 1 year ago, I had 475 people on my team. Today, on the Della Diamonds, there are 2,600 people. gives me goosebumps. We don't want anybody floundering. We don't. And it's hard. So Trinant does not have those reports anymore. We're still working on it, that when people promote, like let's say today, Christine becomes a Ruby. I don't know that until October, the first week in October of what happened in September. We used to know that. We used to see in real time who promoted. I'm looking at my beautiful Laura right here. I don't even know how many days she was a Ruby before I happened by luck to see she was a Ruby. And same with Lisa, because Lisa was checking, because Lisa knew she was on the cusp. I'm sorry, when you become a Ruby, I want to shout it from the mountaintops. That's a really big accomplishment. So what I'm going to ask of all of you, whether you're a brand new, my beautiful Chris Berger, whether you're brand spanking new, Joey, or up to Lisa and Ellen, and you've been here a while, Terry, when you guys bring on an associate, please, Mark Steele, when you bring on an associate, watch your personal people. You watch your personal people so that you know when I can't track it, even if, obviously with 2,000 plus people, right? Please promise me your own personals that you brought in, you monitor, and then you lead by example. And when you teach your personals as they become Jades right away, hopefully that first week, you're teaching them to monitor their people. Okay. So we're going to today start fresh, because I want my leaders. That is the one thing I always joke with you guys. I'm really good at cooking, and I'm really good at teaching, training, and showing. Now I can't pick an outfit. I got to undress the mannequin. There's lots of things I can't do. So our Haley's here. Welcome, Haley. So what I want all of you to do as leaders tonight, this is going to be repetition. But you might not, Laura was not in my trainings because she hasn't been with us that long. So if it is repetition, the best training is repetition. I want you all to take notes, and I'd prefer you do it the way Haley and I are teaching you to do it, because you're asking, how can I be successful and move as fast as possible? So I would think, Janet Ayler says it best. If you want what they have, do what they have, right? If you want what they have, do what they do. That really resonated with me. If you want what they have, do what they do. If you want what Haley and I have, do what we do. And that's what we're here to train. We all good with that? All right. So our first thing we're going to talk about, because I started doing little tick marks, just this week, and today is only Thursday. In our new month of September, I have had 11 people ask me, including what I would have thought was experienced people, ask me about placement and spouses. So we're going to start there, because I think it's very important, because we're all watching Sonara's overview, and I'm going to start doing overviews again, most likely with Haley, where you're going to see a lot of me and Haley doing it jointly. I love how Sonara says her and Wendy share a brain. And that's what I feel like with Haley, because we're enough opposite of each other that if you can't stand me, you'll love Haley. So we'll cover both bases. But spouses. We're all watching Sonara talk about sign up our husbands if we're married. Oh, thank you, Haley. And our children. Right? We're all familiar, the adult children, the spouses, or our partner. Okay. What I want you all to remember though, with all due respect to Sonara Brown, we did not come to Trinant from Epicure as a global director, literally she had thousands of people under her. So she already was able to bring people. Does that make sense? So when you have your 3 lines of business, and if this is, backwards, Sonara, okay, and she brings on Patrick, oh, I gotta just look at it, make sure it's in the right, Patrick, Dylan, and Daniel, she came from Epicure and she's been in this business for 19 years. So she was able to have those people follow her, even in the time when she couldn't talk to people, but they could still follow her. She couldn't do it. So now literally in a month, she's got a ton of people. So here's Pat, she can feed Pat his 3 legs. And then she knows these people from all these years and she can give Pat 3 strong people to make Pat a team because Pat's not really going to do it. Then she's got, from her pool of 1,000 for Daniel, the same thing. She can give Daniel 3 legs. And then again, same with Dylan. So she literally had hundreds that within, 8 weeks, she could feed to them that were strong and were going to do their own business because these 3 aren't doing the business. Does that make sense so far, what I just said? So I'm going to tell you something. Amber Gostowski, and I've talked to a couple of you about this. Amber Gostowski is a blue diamond. You make $2 million a year as a blue diamond. Her husband just became, she's a blue diamond and has been in this industry. Her husband just became an emerald. So we're not focusing on, oh, we are and we aren't for the legacy. So here's all of you, okay? You do get your spouse, partner, and children at the top of your organization. You definitely want to do that so that as time goes by, let's call this a line of business 1, line of business 2, line of business 3. You promote based on the line, not all of this underneath. It's just these 3 people you care about. Take emotion out of it. Take how they're related to you now out of it. You've already strategically placed them at the top of your org chart. Or in my case, it's my husband, Chris, but I wasn't taught this. So Austin's way down here and Alex is way down here. But they're still in those no emotion. I need to first take care of Gina. Because when you get to be a jade, you earn $250 a month. When you're an opal, it's $300. Pearl is $500. Now we get to ruby. You're talking $1,500 a month if you're a ruby. You're not going to get to ruby by worrying about building your spouse here and keep feeding this because these 2 legs have to be fed and grow. Understand? Instead, every time you recruit, it should be listen to what I'm saying now. Every time you recruit, it should be in your name. So you decide which line of business needs volume at any given time. What if all of a sudden you find a Gina Della and I became a pearl in my first month? I was a ruby in my second month. I was a sapphire in my 3rd month. Sapphire is 50,000 points plus evenly emerald. Emerald, I was an emerald by October, 50,000. So now I'm making one of Sonara's legs uneven because I'm giving Pat 50,000 plus points. So now Sonara had to work on those other two legs because I'm already taking care of that leg. Follow me? When you all of a sudden find someone who becomes a superstar out of nowhere, now that leg's going to be heavy. So when you personally recruit, you get to decide where, if it's leg or line of business 2 or leg or line of business 3. So first I want you to understand that. Now, listen closely. Now it's your spouse. Okay. Now let's say spouse is on line of business 1. Child, if you don't have a spouse, your child's on line of business 1. Whatever it is, the person you want to grow first, okay? They're on line of business number 1. Lines 1, 2, and 3 are pretty even, okay? And now you have a new person you could recruit. They're pretty even. That, if you already need volume on your child, partner, spouses, whatever line, then you can go into their account and sign up as them and recruit the person as them and decide where they should fit in their little tree. Then and only then, because it still all feeds up to you. So it's okay because you needed it in there anyway. And that's how you slowly build a child or a spouse. It takes time because we're not worrying about their sprouts. We're worrying about the people in their sprouts. So we have to tap root. Tap root means when you recruit somebody, you figure out in that line of business, tap rooting means who's really getting going. I have Chris Berger. I'm going to use her as an example. I recruited her 2 days ago. First of all, Chris is a perfect example of don't ever stop doing your Facebook lives. Don't post and pray. Stop posting and praying. Don't stop doing your Facebook lives. Don't stop making your Facebook page public. You don't think I get weirdos with Pella? If they're weird, just block them. They're gone. You make your page public. You do what you always reach up. If you want what they have, you do what they do. Tina Joy Carroll says you accept everybody in the world who friends you. And all those recommended people on your Facebook below, friend, 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 friend. Now, us gals, every day I get 4, 5, 6 weirdo guys. Hi, you're hot. I'm like, oh yeah, bye-bye, block. Who cares? You never know who's watching you. Chris Berger and I were not friends, were we, Chris? Until just a couple days ago on Facebook. So she reached out to me on private messenger and said, I have been watching your journey for months. I didn't even know Chris. She thinks we met at church at St. William several years ago. I believe her. You never know. I could give you numerous examples like that. And I think you all have your own examples. Never stop doing your lives. And your most successful lives are people you want to see. Tag them. Tag people to your life. Okay? So make your Facebook page public. Accept all friends. And friend people below you all the time. Okay? Because your team will grow. And no, thank you, Lisa. You cannot use at highlight or at everyone because when they are your normal Facebook page, your personal Facebook page, Facebook does not allow that. I literally had a call with Facebook through Pella. That's the beauty of this. Through Pella, obviously I'm working with Facebook, so we were able to talk to a higher up on how all of that works. No, you have to actually have like a Pella page or make a Trinont business page. But we know from Craig Cotter that when you make a Trinont business page versus your personal page, you actually turn people off. People want to see the real you. They want to see your day to day. Do you know how, go back and look at my lives. 90% of them, I have no makeup on. Who cares? Get over yourself. You think people care if I have makeup on or not? Or are they learning about the daily health system or our chelated minerals and multivitamin balance? Nope. That's me who's worrying about it, or my hair. I don't give a rip. Trust me, I don't care. So that's the Facebook rules. So you will be shocked how many people will reach out to you. So you need to specifically do the @ sign, and I pick certain people. And I'm going to tell you all, before this call, I literally went back. It took forever to look at my lives when I tagged people. 97% of the people I tagged joined after watching that live. Because guess what? If you don't tag, and most importantly, if it was a good live, whenever I do lives, you guys, I pin it. I hit the 3 dots and I pin it so it stays at the top of my feed until the next live. Because otherwise they float all over. That's why sometimes you go on to right now on Facebook and you see something from someone from 2022. Like, why am I seeing 2 years ago? So pin it. And then of course, only 10% of all of our people will ever see our pinned post. You all know that, right? So because only 10% of those people will see your pinned post, well, it'd be less if you didn't pin it, wouldn't it? When you pin it, 10% are going to see it. But if you tag, it's in their notification. Okay? And you don't have to over tag. And guess what? When we follow up, I want each one of you right now to think, and I am staring at Lisa Shimon, literally our industry ingredient expert when I say this. I want each one of you to think, were you a bright, shiny red apple like Gina, where I didn't even know what the company was called, and I gave Sonara the front and back of my credit card, and I didn't even know what this was going to cost? I bet most of you weren't like that. Ellen was, bless your heart. A couple of you are shiny red apples like me. True salespeople, I shouldn't say true salespeople, that's not right either. Many salespeople, we lack the details. I couldn't tell you what I'm even wearing. Oh yeah, Stitch Fix. I mean, I honestly don't even remember until I just looked down. It's just who I am. I spend more money than the business bundle on a nice dinner, you know, so everybody's in a different place. So I want you to think about yourself. Did you just sign up and give someone your credit card? Probably not. How many times did someone have to follow up with you? So why in the world would you? Yeah, I know, Christine Zolger, you are, I probably know your credit card number. I am not talking about you, sister. You are shinier than I am. That's why you're on mute. Besides her, because she might be shinier than me, most of you had to be followed up with. So why in the world would you think anybody else is going to be any different? What about, oh, I got to try the product first and make sure it works. Oh my God. You guys, this already stresses me out enough that I have to get my roots done every 2 weeks. It makes me want to get my roots done every 10 days when people say they have to try the product first. Can I just talk about this for a moment? How many of you said I have to try the product first? Oh, I got to make sure it works. I don't think our doctor said before I give you your antibiotic, let me take it and make sure it works. Oh, you have an eye infection? Let me do the eye drops first and make sure they work. And then, oh, do I get my money back if my amoxicillin doesn't work? Am I hitting home anywhere, people? What about this? I got to make sure the digestive enzyme really does work for my psoriasis. Do I look like I have psoriasis? I have psoriasis. I have psoriasis. But Iron Rich is the most amazing product for psoriasis and rosacea and eczema. I don't have it. So I should not let people get help by it because I don't know if it works because I don't have it. It sounds a little silly when I say it that way, doesn't it? And I can be kind of harsh because you're all recruited and you're already with me. So when people say I got to try it first, that's just to me the craziest thing I ever heard. Because do you say I got to try the porterhouse steak at Sundance before I pay $22 a pound? I mean, honestly, people. So little training on I got to try the product first, okay? I want to know before I move on, are you understanding? You worry about you. Get yourself to Ruby at $1,500 a month because do you know how hard it is to get your spouse to Jade? And to get to Jade means you're heavy on this leg, you're keeping these three busy, you're not worrying about these, so now you have a problem. And oh yay, you made him a Jade for $250. What about next month? How are you going to keep him a Jade? You got to keep your legs even so you grow in the business. I make $17,000 a month as a diamond. Do you think I care if Chris is a Jade? Or do I want to get to that real money? Okay, so I'm going to, yes, Joey, question. Unmute yourself.
Can you speak to like the time frame? Like when I signed up, what, you have a month to get to Jade? Did I understand that correctly? Can you speak to that, how it applies when we recruit people?
She must have cheated and looked at my notes because I've known Joey since we're 16 years old and I think she cheated. Yes, we're going to talk about that too because it's the most confusing thing ever. Let's say you sign up today, September 5th. Do you only have until September 30th to become a Jade? No. These are all bonus days, aren't they? It's your first full calendar month you're in the business. So you have if today you signed up, you have all these days to get to Jade and you have the entire month of October. Please understand that. So, Chris Berger, I'm always learning from my mistakes, you guys. I am absolutely not even remotely close to 50%, much less perfect at Trinant. So with Chris, I had learned from Victoria and Renee on our team, when you have someone that you think is going to be a hot shot, you all know what I'm talking about, right? We have some people we've brought on and you're like, they are going to crush it. Would you all agree? Let me see some nods if you know them, right? Now, do they sometimes disappoint us and they're not what? Sure, but that's not what I'm talking about. I get that. So I already knew Chris is going to be a hot shot. And you guys should already know just from what I told you about her. She's been following my journey for months. That homework was done, wasn't it? She sees my pictures of all the people on earth. I can't lie about my pictures because you can all go see all my commercials and see, yeah, I was Pudgy Paula last February. It's not attractive. You see it. And now I have that black dress. I'm going to tell you, it's from White House Black Market. It sucks up my figure. I don't even know who's in it. I can't. So you can watch that whole journey. It's for real because the daily health system is the real deal. It really is. So she's been watching the journey. She reached out and she said, not how do I get the daily health system? How do I start this business? Would you agree that's a hot prospect? Okay, so this was on August 29th. There's 30 days in August, right? This was on August 29th. Maybe it was August 30th, whatever. I said, Chris, we literally did a Zoom. Many of you have been with me when I've done your Zoom. You know, I take an hour to 90 minutes. I walk you through the business overview personally, right, Joey? Did it with Joey. I've done it with many of you. I go, oh, and I'll do it for any of your people. I walk you through the business overview. I talk about the products because I have to build value in Trinont. I have to build value in the products. I can't just say, go spend $1,000. Now it's like Pella Windows. I can't go to, yeah, I know Dr. Dan who did my foot surgery. I know he's a millionaire. I went to his house and I sold him $300,000 of windows. Do you think I just said, Dr. Dan, it's $300,000 just because it's Pella? Or do you think I understood his needs? I walked around his house. I made sure I found the right product for his home and I built value and I built a relationship. And then he signed on the dotted line. Does that make sense, everybody? I walk through that overview. I get to know the person. I found out why Chris wanted to do this. What is Chris currently doing? Talked about the products, built value, and then said you want to do the business builders bundle because at a minimum, it comes with single serving samples to give to people to try. And how do we own a grocery store if we don't even know what the food is ourselves in it? What it looks like, tastes like, or feels like. You guys, I hate asparagus. But if I own a grocery store, I have to carry asparagus and know what it looks like, tastes like, feels like, right? Trinont knows the most successful people with metrics are the people who started with the platinum bundle, business bundle, because they're able to give the samples and try the products themselves. Okay. So you have that whole next month to get to Jade. But what you have to, so with Chris, because it was the end of the month, and I learned this from Victoria and Renee's person, Nicole, whose husband has a whole wing named after him at Ball State. And she signed up on the last day of July and she was not happy about it. That she would have liked to have started the first month with all of that. You have to pick and choose who you say, no, we're going to wait till not the first of the month, but the second of the month. I want Joey to tell me, why would we wait till the second of the month, Joey? Unmute.
Well, because then you would have that whole month into the next as well, correct?
Excellent.
So 2 months, basically.
So if we sign anybody up on the first of the month, that is their first calendar month, isn't it? But if it's someone you don't know that well, or you're, you know, you don't risk, you'll know, you should know in your gut when you can risk it to the second of the month, okay? Based on, like I just told you, she reached out to me, she watched my journey, how do I start this business, okay? Because a month is plenty of time. I got to Pearl. I didn't even know we were called Trinont. Okay. So the catch though, in those days, today is September 5th, maybe you only recruit 2 people, 2 of your 3 required. All the points you're gathering, they will go away and start fresh the next month. I don't care if you're in pharmaceutical sales like Haley. I don't care if you sell a car. I don't care if you sell windows. There is your Lisa selling ingredients. Every month is a new month. What have you done for me lately? That's what sales is. Ellen sells billboards. Oh, yay. She sold $320,000 of billboards in August. Yay. It's September 1st. You're at 0, sister. That's what sales is. And so I want everything we're talking about tonight for you guys to duplicate what I'm saying to you. So every time you recruit somebody, you're saying these same things. So they're not floundering or lost or having these questions. So you start fresh with those points So let's say Joey recruited 2 people in August. She has all of September to still get that 3rd person to get the Jade bonus. But she has to also get 1,500 points equally divided pretty much between those 3 legs. So the points do start over. But when you recruit, you have to start somewhere with your first person, don't you? So now you recruit your very first person and they get the platinum bundle. You earn, there's a difference between the rank bonus and the commission you earn off their bundle they chose. The minute you recruit somebody and they buy their bundle, if it's a platinum, you earn $200 with your first, it's your first person. You just brought your first teammate on. Now you go and recruit in 3 weeks your second person. They get a gold. You get paid commission $100. You don't get Jade pay yet because you're not a Jade until you have 3 personals and you end the month with at least 1,500 points. Raise your hand if there's a question before we move on. Because we need to keep talking about points because there's still more confusion yet. Okay. Yep, Mary Jo, you can. And Kelly, I think you had a question. So Kelly, go ahead. You're unmuted.
Yes, I just wanted to say, I just wanted to ask you to remind everybody that they need to have their PV in order to earn at the beginning of the month.
Yeah, that's what I said. There's going to still be more things we got to talk about points.
Okay.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. So I want you all to write down PV, which equals personal volume. And I want you to write down PPV, personally purchased volume. I'm going to share my screen. Kelly, I can see your face. Do you see my screen? Shake your head yes or no. Okay. Now I can't see any of you, so I'm just going to talk for a sec. We get confused looking at this grid. So first of all, I'm not commission qualified because there's an X. This is me. By the way, we're in mine. I have no personal volume. Personal volume is box 3 plus box 4. Box 3 plus 4 equals 2. So last month, I had 786 points of personal volume. I had customers purchase 786 points. That's what personal volume is. When you have, I'm sorry, box 4 was the 786 points. Okay. Last month, that box 4, I had 786 points already by August 3rd. I wish I could see you. Please pay attention to this. By August 3rd, I had the 786 points from customer volume. So box 3 plus 4 equals 2. So that meant box 3 was in box 2. So my personal volume was 786 points by August 3rd because they go together. These two went together. I had 0 personally purchased volume by August 3rd. Just like today is September 5th and I'm still at 0, aren't I? I purposely make my subscription the 6th of every month because I wait to see if any of my customers are going to buy. And if they get me to at least my minimum of 100, I immediately pause my subscription. I don't need to spend the money unless I already needed product. Many of you still need product. Now, it's not looking like I'm going to make it because today is already September 5th. You need to have in either box 2 or box 3, because if you have it in box 3, it automatically goes to box 2, a minimum of 100 points in by the 6th of the calendar month. So you become commission qualified. I recruited Chris, here she is 2 days ago, as a platinum. If I do not get commission qualified by tomorrow, I will not get paid my $200 on her platinum bundle. So now I want to show you, I'm going to go into my subscription. Here's my subscription. And actually, I didn't put it to the 7th, so I'm going to put it to the 6th. Sometimes you got to double check that. I don't know why that switches. I never risk it to the 7th. So you can see September 6th. Here's what I'm going to be ordering tomorrow. And mine is 200 plus points because I am a diamond. When you're ruby or higher, you need to always be at 200. So tomorrow, this will kick in. If by the time I get home, from the Mac here and I still don't have any customers, I'm leaving this. I'm not going to pause it or touch it. Okay? Because I must have, all of us must have by the first week of the month, we must be commission qualified with at least 100 points. I go right away and do my 200 right away. So I'm already qualified for my Ruby and higher pay. Okay, I'm going to go back to you guys for a second to see if there's any questions before I go into ranking on the chart below. Any questions? Chris, I know this is overwhelming. You're brand new, but I'm going to keep working with you. Yep, Joey, go ahead.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, I'm starting to grasp the point thing. So when we have someone that's going to purchase, we kind of strongly recommend they do a subscription so they don't run out of product, because it's coming from Utah. For those of us like, on the other side of Utah, it takes a little bit. And now with the recent, the system crashed, so you got a little delay there in holidays. So, but we're kind of up against the calendar at the first of the month. So we can help ourselves and help them by having them do the subscription, correct?
Correct. So what I do is, and like I've already talked to Chris about it, what I get, so if it's a customer, I tell them you're not going to run out of this. Well, actually, whether you're a new associate or customer, I guess I do the exact same thing. What I do is I say, I'm going to follow up with you to see how you're doing on the products in the next couple days. And I put that on my calendar. Whatever calendar you guys use, whether it's a handwritten calendar, Outlook, Google, otherwise you won't remember. Gina, how do you do this? This is how you do it. The more organized you stay, the less time you waste. Okay. And the more money you're going to make. Do it right the first time. So you're not searching through 8,000 notebooks. Just have one. That's Trinant. So I follow up and I say, how's it going? Okay. You're not going to want to run out of that. So do you have a minute? I'm all about doing a Zoom and teaching, training, showing. I don't let people do it on their own. How many of you on this call have sent people a link? They can't sign up, or they've done it wrong, or they signed up as a customer instead of an associate. Care about them. Take the time, or ask me to do a Zoom with them, or ask Haley. Stop sending links. What if I would have sent all of you just a link? Do you think you'd be where you are today if I would have just sent you a link? No. Did you go to your first day at work and it was just a link or someone you just stood at the door and now you figure it out? That's why our teams aren't growing at the rate you're wanting them to grow at. Okay, so then I say, I'm gonna call you back. Then I call them and I say, you're gonna wanna get this on subscription. Let's do a 10-minute Zoom. We're gonna create your subscription for next month, but we're gonna do it within the first week of the month. And then I explain what I just said to you guys. And you wanna be ahead by a couple weeks. Ask Nicole Lahodik, who was freaking out when her glow was gone and now her bones started hurting again. And now she had to wait for her glow to arrive. Okay, that's just, we've all been there. Be a week ahead. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna talk about ranks because you're looking at the wrong spot. I'm gonna share my screen. You all see, I have, and again, I can't see you now, so it's gonna be talking. I have 17,000 points. Today is September 5th. So I'm more than a Ruby, right? Ruby's 10,000 points. I should be a Ruby, right? Wrong. I don't even know below where are all those 17,000 points on one leg? I don't know. What if it's only on one leg? We need our legs to be even. I'm also not a Ruby because I don't have my points yet. I better have them in by the 6th of the month. Okay. So stop looking at this grid. I want you to stop looking at this grid because it's not the Bible. This is the Bible. As of today, Gina is an associate. So I'm 100% done. The requirement is done. Everything I need to be an associate is done. The only thing I need to do to be an associate is pay $99 a year. Notice it says required one item, one thing was done. Because I paid my dues in June. I'm gonna be it's gonna be green every month, no matter what I do, because I'm an associate, whether I place an order or not. We don't have to pay to play here. So the whole pyramid scheme, all that, you all know I get crabby about that because they're so uneducated when they say things like that. You see, I don't need to have any legs. I don't need to do anything to be an associate. I could just have customers. But now I want to see my goal. So I'm going to move from current to goal. All right. If I want to be a quartz and earn $50, I need to be an associate in good standing, paid my dues. And I need volume of 300 from customers. Well, you all saw I was a big fat 0. Okay. To be a jade. Well, have I met my requirements for the most part? Let's see. I'm an associate. Yep. I need 1,500 group volume. Yep. That's weird. It says up here, I have 17,343. Why does it only show 3,465? Because when you go to our comp plan, and each and every one of you should be printing your comp plan out by going to My Business, Library, Compensation, Compensation Plan Documents. We're going to go to the US. Look at all the ways you could send the comp plan to someone. I just want to view it with you guys right now. Leaders, this is not even leaders, every single one of you. It doesn't matter what rank is next to your name. You all, when you recruit, should be knowing this. Print out your comp plan. This is why I'm in it. It's more lucrative than Pella will ever be for me. And you all know I have a pretty darn good job. Here's the associate. I get to be paid off of that. And I get to be paid off of the customer. All of us do. Everyone on this call does. So what are the requirements? If you want to be a jade, You need personal volume of 100, which can be from customers or yourself or a combo. You need 3 personally sponsored associates. That's what PSA means. You need 1,500 in group volume. You saw I had 17,000 and then it moved down to 3,856. That is because each leg or line of business at Jade can only represent 65% of that volume here. Or what is 65% of 1,500? 975 points. So if you go build your spouse or your kid, you're going to have this heavy leg and you're not even going to make any of these because it's so heavy. I only get to use 975 of those points, of those 17,000 points for each of those 3 legs. And then you are considered a leg yourself. So you can, at the Jade level, you can contribute 975 of your own points towards it. When you end the month as a Jade, you get paid at $250. If you do it within your first 30 days of the first calendar month, you will get a $900 bonus. But because you also became an Onyx in that first 30 days to get to the Jade, you're getting that other $100. And your Jade pay, so that's your $1,250 right there. So do you know in your first 6 months, you have the ability to earn minimum $20,000 in bonus. I want you to realize this is why Gina Della moves so fast. In my first 6 months, I had the ability to earn $20,000 in rank retention bonuses, and I earned all 20,000 of it. I became a Pearl my first month, so I earned all of these bonuses. I earned all of these pays. When you start the fresh month, you are now the highest rank you ever ended. So even if I have a poor August and I ended with Emerald volume, which I did last month, I had 110,000. You need 100,000 to be a diamond. I had 110,000, but my legs can only be maxed out at 40,000 points a leg. Well, my husband's leg had 70-some thousand points, so 30 of them didn't count because I wasn't taught in the beginning about the family or the weight of the legs. So I was paid 8,500 for August because I met my Emerald requirements, but my legs weren't even. My one leg's too heavy. Okay. But even though I met only Emerald requirements, I'm always going to be a diamond because that's been my highest rank. So that's a question people ask all the time. I know some of you Ruby leaders, you're like, I'm only in Pearl right now, or I'm only in Opal right now. You are considered a Ruby leader because that was your highest rank. We all fall. At Pella, we're in 4th quarter. I'm going to have reps selling $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 in the month of September. In the month of February, they're happy if they sell 200,000 because you have good months and you have slow months. And many of you slow down during the summer. You're all different. A Gina and the people that want to follow Gina, and again, there's no right or wrong. We don't slow down in the summer, but you can only do so much with the team, right? So you got to recruit yourself. So here's your rank retention bonuses. If you accomplish these things within your first 30 days or your first 2 months. So in Chris Berger's case, she has all of September, and September are bonus days, right? In her first 2 months because she started September 2nd. So she has all the way October and November to become an Opal. and October and November to become a pearl. So if that's the route, the path of time frame you want to take, you can do it. Or you could become a pearl, Chris, in 2 weeks and earn all of it. Okay, now I'm going to go back and stop sharing. Oh no, I wanted to show you one other thing because you guys are not looking at everything. So I want to go back here and look at my home for a second. So you guys would be surprised. Ah, shipwreck. Sorry, hold on a sec. I'm gonna log into Chris because he's a perfect example. My husband, Chris. Chris every month has like 70,000 points and he's a pearl. Most painful thing in America. Because I was building his legs and didn't know it. I wasn't supposed to do that. So by the time I learned, he had 2 legs going to town, and then I learned I had to build all 3 of my legs, not worry about Chris's legs. So let's take a peek at Chris. So Chris is already a pearl, and he is qualified because he has 108 points. I did his yesterday because he doesn't have customers. He's already a pearl. He's a pearl because he met the personally purchased volume or PV requirement. He's a pearl because he's an associate. He has at least 100 PV. He's got 108. He's met his 5,000 requirement. He needs at least 3 personals. He's got 6, which was a mistake of mine. I didn't need to give him 6. I should have only recruited Chris 3. Even if all 3 of his quit, he's forever done. So I shouldn't have gave Chris 3. I should have took 3 of those and placed them other places, by the way. Austin, my son Austin, which should have been a leg. I didn't know that. He's already maxed out. Austin is actually, this leg is my strongest leg in the whole thing. So I can only use 2,500 points at Pearl. So he's maxed out. Ellen is also a super strong leg. So you can see she's almost maxed out there. And this is Chris's super weak leg. So now we'll end the month. Look at this. Chris has 135 points on his 3rd leg. So in the month of August, Chris had 70-some thousand points, so even more than Emerald, an $8,500 check, but he was a pearl. This leg, the people under Stephanie all order their own product. They're customers to themselves. They're associates, but they're customers to themselves. So he got up, this leg was like 850 points. So imagine, he had like 30,000, 35,000 and 850 points. So it made sense for us to hit goal, ruby, and see what I needed to buy under this leg. And I needed to buy 27 points worth, 27 points worth under Chris's name, which took Chris from a $500 pay of Pearl to a $1,500 paycheck of Ruby. Sometimes I'll literally hit Sapphire for Chris because sometimes this leg, Stephanie does a little bit better. So then I go and see how much do I have to buy for Chris to be Sapphire, because that's his highest rank. That's a $4,500 check. If my investment in product is $4,500 minus the $1,500 Ruby pay, the difference is $3,000 at the Sapphire pay, right? He would have earned $1,500 at Ruby, but it's $4,500 at Sapphire. If it's going to cost me less than $3,000 to get that extra $3,000, let's say it cost me $1,800, but I'm going to get paid $3,000 more. Now I came out ahead 1,200. And I'm getting free product, which is how I do all my incentives. That's advanced, and that's where I'll help you. So I'm not going to keep going on there, but I always want you to go up a bit because you're probably stopping too soon when you hit jade. Go look what it would be to be pearl or opal. Now I'll stop sharing and see what questions you guys have. I hope this is helpful because these are the questions I get all the time. And I want you to all be clear on it. I want your leaders to be clear. And I want you to be helping your new people right off the bat with this. All right, Rubies, did I miss anything with regard to points, volume? Nope, Lisa says no. Okay. Okay, I am going to open it up. Yes, Joey.
Sorry, questions. You probably answered this personally to me. The $99 enrollment, obviously when you first sign up, is it from the date you enrolled or is it calendar for all of us, calendar year? So like January of every year, we all got to pay 99.
It does it on your anniversary. So
Okay.
you'll see that in your 9-box grid. It shows you your renewal date in the bottom right corner. Excellent question.
Thank you.
Hey, Gina, it's Lisa, I clarified for Renee, because she asked you, how can you have no PV and so much group volume? And so I just basically answered her in the chat and I said, your group volume comes from your legs and your PV comes from your own customers and your personally purchased products. So that's what makes up your PV, and all your group volume comes from your legs below.
Write that down, everybody, because that is what gets everybody confused. That is literally the most confusing thing ever. Okay. Thank you, Lisa. Are there any other questions in the chat, Lisa, that you might?
No, I was
Okay.
kind of keeping an eye on it and trying to simply answer.
As you guys ask me things, I've been just writing down thoughts because it's whenever in my day, and I have a notebook that I literally call thoughts. And my most common question that gets asked to me is, how in the world can you be Gina Della from Pella and do all these things and do this? It's literally the most common question I get. So a thought I had today was, when you guys want to talk to me, when you want my time, and this is what I'm teaching you to all do, you make a hard stop. Nobody should take more than 15 minutes of your time for a question. You make a hard stop. So some of you might think, gosh, she's so rude. She doesn't ask me about me. I can't ask you about you at that time. I can't. I love all of you so much, but you wanted my time. You had a question, and I want to be able to answer that question. And if I spend time talking, how's it going? How's the family? How's la la la? Then I'm not going to have time to answer Beth's question or Sherry's question or Tiffany's question. And I want to be able to help as many of you as possible. And that's my recommendation to all of you. When people want your time, you go look at what you need to do and you figure, is that something, you know who they are? Is that something that could be done in 15 minutes? And then that has to be your hard stop. And you tell them, I have a hard stop in 15 minutes. And everybody's respectful of it. Trust me, I've never had anybody not. Also, if I became a Jade last month, so if I recruit more associates, should I put them under me? Yes, you want to always sign them under you. And then you're going to look at those 3 lines of business that made you a Jade. Reach out to me. If you're on my team, if you're Haley's team, you reach out to Haley. Please, you guys, my number is 262-443-2168. There are 2,600 of you now. 443-2168. If you need to know how to, I hate when you guys recruit and you're not letting me help you place, or you're ending up with 4 legs of business.
or go to your Ruby right above you.
Yes.
They can walk you through. Please utilize us Rubies. I might not be your Ruby, but you can reach out to me. I will help you like look at your legs.
Yes. And Lisa, Lisa's the one you're all hearing about when we have ingredient questions, or I've asked her 4,500 times, can I take Activate twice a day? I just need to know because I can't take not taking it twice a day. Lisa is the one who literally answers and answers accurately. There's a difference. There's a big difference, okay? The most common question, and Lisa answered it for me yesterday. And then I'm going to show you a tip on private messenger, and then we're going to open this up to any question, okay? Lisa, please, will you explain? And everybody get your notebook ready. What is the difference between Glow? What are the benefits of Glow? And what is the difference between Glow and Glow M? What are the benefits of Glow M? And does it have shellfish? You guys write those three things down first. Glow, what are the benefits? Glow M, and does it have shellfish? Lisa, please help us with that.
Sure. So I'll start with regular Glow. So regular Glow comes from bovine collagen. Bovine collagen comes from a cow. It's type 1 and type 3 combined. Bovine always brings both 1 and 3. Type 3 is a healer. It's a wound healer. It's just known as the healing. It's a healing collagen type. Don't know how else to put it. That if you Google it, that's what it will tell you. The difference in the formulation, original Glow is going to be amazing. It's going to be still good for skin. It's going to be good for hair and nails and all that stuff. That's what type 1 does. But this formulation, because of the antioxidant blend, is going to be amazing for regenerating your connective tissue, which is going to help your joints. So anybody with arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, I'm trying to think of like all the different things. My brain is kind of short right now. But it's good for all the aches and pains and that type of stuff in your body. It includes L-citrulline, which is an amino acid, or that
Well,
creates.
that's okay. Don't do that part only because I'm going to be kicked out at 9, just what it's good for, because we're never going to say that.
That's all it is. Now we'll go to Glow M. So the huge difference is Glow comes from a bovine, Glow M comes from marine or fish. It comes from fish skin. It does not include any shellfish. Shellfish are shells. It comes from skin. And it's a byproduct of all of the fish hatcheries. This collagen comes out of Europe, Asia, just the EU. It comes from fish markets there, the skins from those markets. By the way, this is my very favorite marine ingredient collagen in all the ingredients that I sell. And I don't sell this because it's trademarked, but it's my very favorite. It actually, if anybody says to you, I already use a marine collagen, why would I want to switch? Because the molecular weight of this one is 1,000 times less. Most marine collagens are 2,000 Dalton. This one is 1,000 Dalton. It's more bioavailable. It's a trademarked ingredient. It has clinical studies. It's proven to reduce your wrinkles and your fine lines. It's all clinically studied. And then it, of course, has the apple stem cell with it. That is just the most crazy ingredient ever that actually doesn't age. So those are really the difference. Glow M is truly inner beauty. It's type 1 for your skin. It is by far just inner beauty. And by far, marine collagen is used in the rest of the world, where in America, we use more bovine. The rest of the world uses more marine collagen. So there we go.
Thank you so much. And so you can take both. So like I put my Glow M and my Activate in the morning, and at night I take my regular Glow with one and Rich. So yes, you can take both. I'm gonna get kicked out of here in 10 minutes, so I definitely want to show, Lisa, go ahead while I'm sharing my screen.
Nope, I was just going to say that I would do Glow M during the day, and I would do your original Glow with Renew, do a shot, take your Renew with it right before you go to bed. And if you want, if I'm honest, like I do regular Glow every day, and I probably do Glow M about 4 days a week. So.
Thank you, Lisa.
Hey, Gina, this is Kelly. There is a question in the chat around
Oh,
your
Oh, then you know what, Kelly? Let's do questions. I'm gonna stop sharing and I'm gonna start our next training with what I was gonna show you. Let's do questions. Can you guys read them to me?
I just know there was a question around when you were showing your volume, there was a question around why you had no customer volume. And
Because I have no customers.
and touch on how do you, if you have somebody that wants to order as a customer, what do you do?
If I have somebody that wants to,
order as a customer.
Order as a customer.
yeah, I give them my link, trinant.com/Gina. I do have some customers. I have about 8, but as you all well know, most of, many of you are my personal recruits here. I recruit everybody. Joey was going to start as a customer. I'm like, why? Pay the $99, get your online store, get your link, and let's look at a bundle that works best for you because you want to order products anyway. And it's not a matter of if someone's going to ask you, it's a matter of when. Look at how all the people reach out to you. So I want to take your money, but I'd much rather have you buy from yourself and you might have a prospective business. So I convert. I literally probably have 11 or 12 customers. Last month was unusual that I had so many customers because I was on the morning blend. So, which I shared with all of you. I have another episode, by the way, of the morning blend as soon as I can figure out how to share it with you. So that's why. Renew. Lisa, why is Renew preferred before bed?
Because it is probably one of the most powerful lipid, fat, antioxidants. It's a massive cell renewal. So all the beauty when you sleep, your cells renew at a stronger rate. So it's working while you're sleeping. So your cells are renewing, your whole body's renewing. It's just, it's doing its magic while you sleep, because while you sleep, that's when the magic happens.
Any other questions on there, you guys? Okay, if I place a new associate order on one of my business, it went away. We need this recording. Oh, I always record trainings. I will put it on the Della Diamonds and Haley will post it on hers. Chris will convert this to a YouTube video. Can I agree like me? I need to encourage. Okay, bear with me while I look at your questions and feel free to keep adding because I just moved. They can't kick me off of this chair. If there is a dead leg, can you replace it? Excellent question. You never have to replace. It's just like it's not there. You will have dead legs. You will have people that completely quit. And so think of a string of pearls. The pearl's just off. One pearl's off. If it's actually someone you recruited and made a leg, like Colleen Valcoon is my 3rd leg. She's not quitting by any means, but let's say she literally was one of my 3 legs. Let's say she decides to quit. It doesn't matter. All the volume just goes up to me. She's just not there. All the people, it's just that it's like her little pearl on that string is removed. That is a very common question you're all going to get. is what happens if you have a dead leg. Let's see, also I became a Jade last month. So if I recruit more, so, oh yeah, you're gonna reach out to your Ruby leader, Jennifer Parda. Please reach out to your Ruby leader. She or he will help you. How can we find out who the Rubies are? If you are my personal recruit, if I recruited you, I'm your Ruby leader. Sarah McCabe, thank you so much for the kind words, very much. But he didn't order by the 6th. My husband had a personal recruit, but he didn't order by the 6th. Will he not get the $200 bonus? That is what my understanding. Haley, is that correct? Haley, if you're still on, Mark Steele, is that correct? Lisa Shimon, is that correct? Somebody.
It goes in remember, it's a 5-week cycle. So, I don't always go by the 6th because you don't know if the 6th is actually going to go into the second week. I always do it the first, like the Friday of the first week. That's what I tell people. Look and figure out every month when is the first Friday of that first week and make sure your order is in on that Friday, because if it ends over the weekend, or, you know, and just sometimes the 6th will be in the second week, if that makes sense. Because we go on a 5-week rotating cycle.
How do we switch our subscription order to be the 6th? So you go, I'm going to share my screen. Or you could do the 5th, you know, do whatever you're comfortable with. I just don't do it on the 1st or 2nd, so it gives me time. Oh, whoops. So you just go on subscription management. And up here, you can do the little pencil and you can change the date to be whatever you want it to be. The thing is, you got to make sure when you change your anything on here, you must hit save subscription or it does not change. I can't tell you how many of you didn't know that and thought you added or did whatever and you didn't hit save subscription. So nothing changed, okay?
So Gina, I just want to make this point. I'm looking at September's calendar. The 6th is on a Friday for
Yep.
September. In October, the first Friday of that first week is the 4th. If you waited until the 6th, it's going to be Sunday. And I just don't know if it counts because I think that's the first day of the next week.
So everyone got that. And I will confirm that. If somebody could text me to confirm that with home office, I will do that tomorrow. Somebody, I hope to get 50 of you texting me. I will confirm that because that's a biggie. Will the company give grace if orders can't get placed because the system was down? They know the system was down. And if it's still down by the time you go to bed, then you would write me. This one is where you have to do me, not your Ruby leader. Or in Haley's case, Sonara, because that's her diamond leader. You have to reach out to your diamond leader. So it has to be me. On Haley's team, it has to be Sonara. And you say, I have been trying to place an order. The system's down. It's 10 p.m. and I have to go to bed. Okay. I think that's it, right? Am I missing any? I think that's it. So I appreciate all this. I'm going to stop the recording right now. Are you sure you want to stop the recording?